cannot handle real work, reality talk, 80+ language, simply skip the video.
Whoa, this morning I went into the subway, and it's not really in the early morning, but 11 o'clock. And what I saw over there, slavery. And I went with a person who had to go to a neighborhood around Mladost. So I thought, let's take a look again in Mladost. It's been a while. Mladost, Sofia, Bulgaria. But anyway, I went into the subway, and I see people. You know, I don't like to go in the subway. I like to sit in the bus, electric cars, and blah blah blah. So I have freedom. But also, not only this, but it also made me realize really something, that, let's say, quote unquote, normal people, that the bridge to actually understand the level of freedom and to handle it correctly, that is a huge bridge that requires time. And this is not to doom, but it's something that I haven't witnessed for a long time, because I am not, I never. And then I also talked with a person. She told me, because this person that I talked with, she is living in Germany, and then had to travel a day for 1 hour towards and 1 hour backwards home, to a job of 12 hours of, let's call it what it is, slavery. And you know, if you don't like what I'm saying, there's always an opportunity to swipe away. But you know, for me, because I am preaching and living, I'm living what I'm preaching. I do everything from the mobile, and a lot of people don't understand. But now I understand, even, let's say, from normal business people. And normal business people who think that they have to run in suits and lick somebody else behind to make a couple of, we're in Bulgaria, so a couple of levas, and then tell the world that you have a business, and then actually preach on schools that that's the way to do business, or that you get into some kind of internet focused business model, service business model, and live also really like a group of similar people. You still dance to somebody else's rhythm. Yeah, that is unbelievable. But to make people aware of that the freedom is in their hands, and that they actually start working for it, building the audience is what I'm always talking about. For me, it sounds so normal. And of course, my business model is way much more advanced, but the thing is, to start building audiences, that's where your freedom starts. And this, what I saw this morning, people drowning in their phones on their way to their jobs. Nobody is smiling for obvious reasons, because everybody does understand that locked in their rat race. And I'm saying this with all the respect. I was sitting with this person and I talked about it, and it was actually good for me to see that let's say it like this. You take and I'm talking about men because I'm a man, and let's say a man, what I always say, a man, you're not a man if you don't control your time. And that sounds very harsh, but I'm saying these harsh things to make you realize that you maybe survive, but you're not thriving. And not only this, you don't feel fulfilled. And a lot of people who like to promote on social media how happy are they with their newfound love, the spouse that actually probably their colleague. Yeah, that is all a facade. Don't fall for it. Life is so much more colorful than what a lot of people do. And I was sitting with this person talking about, and because, like I said, this person lives in Germany and travels for 1 hour, so it's for millions and millions of people so normal. But what I also said, and probably a lot of people heard it, and all of a sudden people do speak English. The thing is, that's not why God put us on the planet, in case you're religious. But I believe people are not made to live like this. Could it be worse? that you have to dive into the coal mine hundreds of meters under the ground? Yes, of course, it can always get worse. You could also locked in chains, put in a boat and work for a master. But that is of course brutal. But this is also, I was really, because I haven't been in the subway for a long time, and this subway was full with workers. That made me really realize something. And then when I look, see, this is simply my purpose with my videos, to make people aware that what they are actually doing on a daily basis is not the most fulfilling way to live. And this is also what I understand. And when you hang around with a lot of people, you know, with scruffy beards and half beer bellies of all the way beer bellies, and this is not to disrespect anybody, but look a little bit outside what is possible, because the solution is in your hand. And I don't mean that you have to use one of your fingers to scroll as fast as possible, but that you start building those audiences, what I'm constantly talking about. That actually motivates me to do actually more about, you know, informing people through my newsletter, which is actually now will have the opportunity to sign up. I didn't work on the email sequence yet, but this really motivates me, because it is. If I also said this to the person who was sitting next to me, I said, if you have to do this every day, and this person who was sitting next to me, she said, I'm doing this for how long? I think she said 20 years in Germany, but people over here do the same. But think about this. Let's assume that you're 25 and you say you're gonna be a specialist and blah blah blah, so you go to university. I don't know how that works. I never deep dived into the diplomas and all that paper bullshit. The thing is, so let's say you're done at 30, but then the whole rat race starts. Yeah, but Alan, I can lease a car or whatever. Then you do the same. You need to deliver your time to maintain or to keep your assets. And if you lose those assets, because this is another thing, when you lose those assets, those 100% trusted people, your friends, they will look down on you because you lost everything. But you never had anything in the first place. You never had anything when you don't control your time. Yeah, you had. I also thought about this. A lot of people who talk about acquiring material, new car, this and this. But I need to work a little bit this. But only I can do this when I get promoted and or whatever. So what are you doing in this process? You lick ass. You don't do anything what you want to do, 100% want to do, because you got a spouse, a whining spouse, peer pressure from your friends, because your friend has the latest Toyota or whatever that people buy, what is, you know, that is, let's say, oh, he bought this. Also really think about this, because I'm here in Bulgaria, people think Mercedes and BMWs are great cars, and that is something that is, you know, great. But in other countries, those are grocery cars. And the thing is, I'm not talking down on Bulgaria, but think about this. If you even deliver 1 minute extra per day on acquiring that kind of asset, or to maintain it, and you do it actually only to maybe get that girl or whatever, that is outrageous. Or to keep, you know, that you have to dress up in all kind of brands so people don't look down on you, because if you would walk around like me without the brands, then people would look down on you. That is captivity, slavery on its finest. You're addicted to brands, not you, but a lot of people are addicted, you know, to keep up a facade. And the facade, you can expand it, of course, with a so-called luxury car or brands that you need to wear, because otherwise you're not joining the crew that you hang around with. Well, I'm gonna give you this piece of advice. If your loyalty from your crew or the people depends on what do you bring to the table in asset, so you can calculate, oh, you wear for this amount of money, you wear that amount of money, and that's the only way you can actually join your crew. And then the rest is so empty, because when you gather together and dance the hula hoop, and scroll on TikTok and maybe imitate a couple of dances, well, you have to start considering, especially if you had... So now, yesterday I was looking at traffic jams. You ever wondered why it's not filled up with Lamborghinis? Because those people have time. They don't need to be over there. They don't have to be. They don't dance to the pipes or the rhythm of other people. Just a very good thing to think about, you know. And when it's about Mercedes, and you know, there's always somebody with a bigger car. In the past I had cars, but now I just take an electric car. I drive with the bus and whatever I want to, and when I want to go to Malta, I go to Malta. The thing is, I don't have to be in Bulgaria. The thing is, what I try to make people aware of, especially the ones that are sitting in the subway, playing with their phone, getting older and dull between the ears. You can see it. Life is getting ripped out of their soul while they're standing next to it. And they get surrounded by people who are actually encouraging, because always people find each other in groups. Because I got the latest promotion. Now we can travel together. Isn't that fine? And this is something not disrespectful, but what I see as a human who has all the freedom on this planet, I think it's a sad thing. It's a very sad thing. And I'm genuinely, let's say 10x, 50x times more motivated to actually start building this newsletter, so a normal person can start making the switch from being sorry, I'm still a little bit fluid, but the thing is that this really is something that made me, it is real, it is so real that I think it's very painful to see. And I was genuinely surprised about, you know, that people sit down in a tram, they all look grumpy, there's nobody smiling, all looks for eye contact with other people, they're all grumpy, and then they drown in the phone. One swipes faster than the other one, on their way to their job, probably begging for the next break, and then eat maybe on a discount because their company arranged somewhere in a local I don't know what place. Yeah, there is no freedom. And then I think if you're watching this and if you're one of those people, I'm totally not disrespecting you, because I do respect that you can deliver, but I don't believe that those people are really happy. I don't believe. And the thing is, that's also the kind of people who are chasing happiness. I'm not chasing happiness. Just for my life is about discipline and optimizing my communication with humans, because that's where I'm addicted to or I don't know what, I'm just obsessed with it. But when I see this, I genuinely care. It really makes me think, because see, I'm always, when I sit with people over here in Bulgaria, they all control their lives. Also, they do not cry when their wife speaks up a little bit, because the majority of people who's telling you something on those preaches on schools, how to do business in life, they cry at home when their wife speaks a little bit louder. I've seen it. I still saw it with my own eyes. I think, what the hell are you trying to preach over here, man? But it's something to think about. And I understand there are a lot of traditional thinkers here in this country and in a lot of countries. And a lot of people who go from, let's say, quote-unquote poor countries to countries like Germany, you just do it in a different environment. It's really something to think about. And I'm almost 47 within 2 days. But I lived a life, very colorful life. And a lot of people who, I took so many gambles, a lot of people would say I would never do that. But you know what? Me, and this is not me bragging, that's why I can share what I'm talking about. I'm not the kind of guy who comes once in a while to Bulgaria, show off with a Lamborghini, wear the finest suits and then go away and you know, to show off a little bit Lamborghini, to attract the young guys and make them temporarily a little bit crazy, and ooh, now I also want to get rich. You know what you want to do? Get disciplined. The rest will follow. Relentless discipline. And show respect. And what are you gonna do for the country? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for the country? Drive a Lamborghini? Yeah, but then I'll inspire young people. No, you don't. Most people want to buy assets just to show what they got. But that's the mindset of getting rich. Get the mindset of getting wealthy. That's what I'm trying to say. That you can decide where you want to be, how you want to be, and wherever you want to go. And be yourself. Don't have to dress up because other people say, oh, otherwise you're not joining our crew or whatever, or you're not getting accepted, or your spouse would say, oh, you dress like a bum. Well, first of all, let's say it also like this: the majority of people who actually dress up in the most perfect way, the majority of people, I know people who look extremely good also when they would not wear the suits that they're in, because those people are wealthy, they're not rich. Wealthy, there's a difference between it. Rich people just need to show, oh, I got a Mercedes now, new Mercedes. Did you already see it? Let's make some pictures of the inside. Who gives a rat's ass that you make pictures of a grocery car? And I'm saying this with all the respect, but think about first, get your freedom. At least start building an asset that can possibly get you closer to a point of freedom, that you can actually develop a character, that you don't have to chase that one girl. You know, that's another thing. When you're a guy, let's talk to the guys, that this one girl, because this is the chance, this is the one, because you don't have the chance to go to other locations, and this is the one that is possible, it's in your reach, and that's it. You don't want this. I don't believe in this. But of course, I am very extreme when it's about freedom and thinking more abundant. And actually, I can decide whatever the fuck I want to do. But when I saw this morning, this group of people, the groups of people, the whole subway was filled with, yeah, let's use the word as is, slaves. They just go. They just land like lemmings. Tick, 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 tick. And if one would fall away from their as a cogwheel in a whole big machine, when they would fall out sick, you're gonna be replaced instantly. And you just do it for the rest of your life until you're 50, 60, and then holy, you got an incredible, how do you say this, retirement thing. I don't know how that works. I'm not into that kind of stuff, because I never held up my hand, and I never will. That's another thing. Don't focus on later when you're gonna be retired. What are you gonna do? You die more than you already know? I think when you have to be everywhere somewhere and you squeeze yourself between all those other people, you are already with 4 toes in your grave. 4 toes, you're already in the grave. And there's one little sparkle, it's called your spouse. And then you have a child and you have to work a little bit more. And things get worse because financially it's get tight. But you know what? Hey, you can work more. Why not? Why not work more? It's something to think about. And this is not the nicest piece of content that I ever made, but this morning I saw it with my own eyes. Sad. Makes me sad, because I know the other side. See, a lot of people who know a little bit about my life, a tiny percentage, 15% of it, they would already say, but I would never like to make those mistakes, because then I would hang myself. Yeah, but you know what? I made the mistakes. I'm sharing those mistakes. I'm sharing with you the red flags things. I'm telling you how to build an audience, how to start building audiences. I will tell you how to monetize those audiences. So I'm telling you, you don't have to run in those things. And once you start to make a little bit money, you will start to see changes. You put a little bit of the disciplines in. And I shared way back a 1-minute exercise that exercises your whole freaking body. You can do it 5 times in a row. The 13th step 1-minute exercise thing. Do it in front of the television in case you're a real 100% television addict. Start doing something. I'm begging you. And I'm really begging you, because when I saw it this morning, I think that is very sad. I went once to the zoo. I went once to the zoo over here in Sofia, and it was fucking horrible. But what I saw this morning in the fucking subway, I don't want to compare people with animals, that's not the thing that I'm saying, but I had the same sad feeling. Because I can see some people have still a little bit of sparkle in their eyes. You know, they have the sparkle in their eyes. They want to live, but they don't know how. And I'm telling you about how to do it. I'm giving you strategies away for free. And again, yes, I use way much more sophisticated strategies. But I narrow it down so you can start working. Start making that little change. That comes down that a 12-year-old can do it. So the normal people, that they can make this little tiny switch every day, a little bit by little. I don't know how to say it. And then at one point you start getting more open-minded. You have a little bit more time, and at one point you give your boss the middle finger, and then you got a lot of free time. Because this is also what I thought, huh? Let's say a normal person that actually goes every day to their work like that. I was thinking, what if this person would have the same amount of freedom that I would have? What does he or she do? Well, trust me, that is not going very well. It's like the same when people win the lottery, right? They're gonna drink themselves to death or whatever. And that's why yeah, let me rattle up this subject a little bit. See, in the past I had a lot of offline businesses and projects. I was drinking like a sailor, sniffing cocaine like a Kirby. But not only this, I always kept the discipline to put in the work. See, a lot of people also chose the only life of alcoholics and this, but I just like to, I also locked myself up for days and then just keep on until I mentally cracked almost. And that's how I opened doors that's how I always justified it. But the thing is, now I don't. I'm now almost 47 within 2 days, and then I'm totally sober. I don't have any normal people vices. I'm only focused on sharing the strategies, formulated in a way that it can be understood and executed by a 12-year-old, because I see this as some sort of my purpose and maybe even my duty to share this. Because if you see those people, that makes me very sad, because it has a ripple effect, right? Groups of people get it together, you got a job, yay. The thing is, there are also children out of those people. They're popping up with the same values, the same hunger for not life, but for, you know, oh, my son is also getting the same job. Well, I think that is a very selfish thing, and I talked about this in another vlog. The thing is, in that vlog I talked about, if you want that your son or daughter will be better than you, then you have to put in the work. And this is with a lot of traditional thinkers. They think, no, I'm not gonna put in the work because my life won't change. Well, stop being so selfish. Let's assume that you really are willing to die for your children. And a lot of people say, I'm willing to die for this. Trust me, they never saw that in the eyes. And I'm not saying this to boast or whatever, or, you know, to intimidate or to say I'm all this and that. No. But think about what you're really willing to do, and just do it. Just do it. Do it, if not for yourself, do it for your children. That they can see that daddy doesn't walk around with a beer belly, and when daddy walks in with them into school, that other children say, look, Bobby, his father looks very great and has the energy of a 10-year-old. See, that's a little bit a different example. But let's stick to this one. This really impressed me a lot. Maybe quote-unquote hurt me, maybe more motivates me to do even better and focus more on sharing the strategy. Because I'm very honest, you know, I'm giving everything away for free, but I did share maybe a few weeks ago the first one, but now I'm rebuilding Dotcom Baron. Now I have an opt-in form. Yeah, it costs you submitting the email. Like this, I keep in contact with you, very transparent about it. I'm not one of those people who needs $27 or $47 or $49.99 to put in my pocket, and I'm selling you upfronts or warming up for my upsell. No. What is my business model about this? First of all, people who will start doing, they will hit the roof at one point, because I do have the experience. I'm doing this for decades. I started making sales when I was 11, so I do see angles that a lot of people will never see. The people who started at 25 making 1 or 2 sales a day, they don't see the angles that I see. And the thing is, I'm not bragging, I'm just giving you an example. The thing is, what I'm speaking about, I live by it. And the thing is, next to that, when I was 25, when I was 27, I had bunch of employees made all those mistakes. No, not necessary. But the thing is, I never dressed up and lick ass to make a couple of euros. No, I always walked a little bit my own thing, and now I walk really 100% my way and nothing else. Of course, I got my trusted business people around me, but that's it. I'm walking my line. I'm not telling, other people cannot tell me you have to be here at this and that time. Anyway, let's stop this rattle, and I hope you get a little bit motivated, or maybe start opening your eyes if you're one of those people who have to walk in subway everything. Anyway, that's it. Think about it. And I am going to work on this email thing. The opt-in possibility is already on the Dotcom Baron. You can simply start with 50 minutes a day. If you do 50 a day, the first days, you're already ahead of the run. Maybe you already start seeing angles after 7 days. And not only this, and then I'm gonna close. You start using my strategies will also carve out what you're really interested in. Because this is another thing. Some people say, I'm interested in this and this, blah blah blah. You can hear about the tonality. You can hear the tonality, they're not. And with when you start implementing my strategies, you will carve it out. I'm starting losing my voice, by the way. The thing is, you carve out your purpose, you start doing what you really like, and at the end you monetize it and give your boss the freaking middle finger. That's it, I'm out, because my voice is leaving me alone. Anyway, wow, holy moly. Ciao for now.